Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea and I've been posting videos every single day for the last several days and it's been so much fun and I'm really grateful that you are here. Today's topic is going to be all about human design and how human design changed my life. For those of you who are not familiar with human design, I'm going to give you a quick little Cliff's Notes description of what it is, what it entails, and then I'm going to dive right into all of the benefits, how it's affected my life, and how it can help change and shift your life. So human design is a framework that takes several different ancient modalities and ancient practices such as astrology, the Chinese I Ching, Kabbalah, the chakra system, and it combines itself with, or it doesn't combine itself with, it doesn't do it itself, but you guys know what I'm saying. It combines with quantum physics in order to create a body graph or a map of you. So what it does is by taking all of these different systems, it creates a blueprint for you, your unique blueprint and how you are designed to operate, your unique mechanics as an individual. And one of the things about human design is human design is known as the science of differentiation. So in human design, very similarly to astrology, there are no two people that are exactly alike. There are no two people that are going to have the exact same chart. And so underneath that, the way that it's structured as far as humanity goes is there are different aura types. Each aura type has its own strategy and its own authority. So very similarly to how in astrology there are the 12 zodiac signs, in human design there are 5 aura types. And those aura types are basically the energy types, or how that energy is expressed through that person and how that energy is designed to most optimally operate in society through strategy and through authority. And so those 5 aura types are generators and manifesting generators, which depending on who you talk to, generators and manifesting generators will fall under the generator umbrella. So some people will say there are 4 types versus 5, but if they say there's 4, they're basically just considering generators and manifesting generators as being under the generator umbrella. Then you have manifestors, projectors, and reflectors. So those are the 5 aura types. And for each of those aura types, so for generators, for instance, what makes a generator is that they have an open and enveloping aura, meaning they are very receptive to just calling in things into their environment, receiving things into their environment. And they have a defined sacral center, which if you're familiar with the chakra systems in human design, there are 9 energy centers versus the 7 energy centers of the chakra system. But there's a lot of overlap with those in that all of the 7 chakra system, or all of the 7 chakras in the traditional ancient chakra system, are included in human design. There are just 2 additional energy centers in human design, but the sacral is one of them. So the exact same structure of the sacral as it relates to the chakra system is essentially the same in human design, meaning the sacral center is the center for life force energy. It's for sexual energy, it's creative energy, it's where the energy to move and go and get things done comes from, the energy to build and the energy to create. And so that is something that defines generators and manifesting generators and differentiates them from the other 3 aura types, because the other 3 aura types do not have a defined sacral center. And when I say defined, what I mean is that that energy center is consistently activated and the person with that center defined has consistent access to the energy of that center. And when I describe some of the other aura types and talk about my own story, it'll make a little bit more sense for those of you who are brand new to human design and this video is the first time that you're hearing about it. So just bear with me. It's like learning a new language, but it's not as complicated as it seems. The next aura type is the manifester, and the manifester, well, let me rewind a little bit. The generator and the manifesting generator together make up 70% of the global population. So the vast majority of people on this planet are generators. They are the builders of society. These are the people who have consistent access to that creative life force energy to build and create things and to get things done. Now, the manifester makes up about 10% of the population, and the manifester is someone who has they don't have a defined energy, or they don't have a defined sacral center, but they do have a defined throat that's connected to a different motor. And I'm not going to get into all of that stuff because this whole class isn't, or this video isn't all about all of the different aspects of human design. It's sort of just the introductory to it, and I'll do more videos on human design in the future. But manifestors are initiators, and they are initiating through their defined throat center. So the throat center is all about expression. It's about speaking things into existence. And the manifestor has the ability to just initiate, say what's going to happen, say what they want to get done. And then they have the ability to go out and simply speak that into existence. They have a closed and repelling aura, which means that they are not as open and receptive as the generators are. And the reason why manifestors have a closed and repelling aura is because it's to protect their manifestations. If they are constantly taking in the energy and the insight of other people around them, then it will interfere with their manifestations. Then the next aura type that you have is the projector. And the projector makes up 20% of the population. Projectors are the energy guides. They are the seers. They are oftentimes like oracles or teachers, guides, people who have a very deep insight into various systems in society. They master systems and then guide people and teach people from the mastery of those particular systems. And so projectors have a very focused and penetrative aura. So whereas the generator aura is just like open and beautiful, like this beautiful sphere, this beautiful circle, and the manifestors is sort of like contracted and closed off, the projector's aura is like a laser beam. So it's a very focused point of energy that goes directly into other people, allows the projector to see inside of this person, connecting through their identity center. And then the projector is able to offer really deep insight and guidance and into how that person can most optimally and effectively and efficiently utilize their energy, their life force. And then the fifth aura type is the reflector. And the reflectors are the most enigmatic, and they're also, for me, the most challenging to understand simply because they are the most rare energy type in the world. Reflectors make up 1% of the population. So very, very, very few people in this world are reflectors. I actually know 2 reflectors, and they're very, very different people. But what's unique and special about reflectors is that reflectors don't have a fixed identity center. They don't have a fixed authority. They are here to essentially mirror society back to itself. So when reflectors are in alignment, reflectors can be very, very wise, sage people, and they are also governed by the lunar cycle. So there's different authorities depending on your aura type. But the reflector has no inner authority. They're the only ones that have no inner authority, and they are designed to make decisions based off of the lunar cycle. So those are just like a handful of the, those are the 5 aura types and just a handful of, little bits of insight about those aura types. Getting into the strategy and authority that I've mentioned, each aura type has its own strategy for how they are designed to navigate life, how they are to engage with life, engage with their environment, engage with the people around them. And then beneath that is the authority that is basically your inner compass, your inner wisdom, your intuition. That is something that is a little bit more unique depending on who you are, like as you start getting into some of the nuances of the chart. But for generators, the strategy for all generators is to respond, waiting to respond. And so it basically just means if you're a generator, you're designed to live your life, do the things that light you up, do the things that make you feel excited, the things that bring you joy and vitality, and then you respond to whatever is coming into your field. And so that sacral response is what you're going to have, which is like a yes or a no response. And then you filter that through your authority. So as a generator, you're going to have a sacral response, and your authority might be sacral, meaning you have an instantaneous yes or no response, and that is what you go off of. If you don't have a sacral authority, your authority might be emotional, for instance. Then if you have an emotional authority, then you're going to have that sacral response, and then you're going to process it through your emotional authority, which is waiting to confirm through a place of clarity that that initial yes or no that you had is the correct thing for you. If you are a manifester, or let me go back. So when you are using your strategy, you're using your strategy and you're using your authority, you are going to experience two outcomes. You're going to experience alignment or misalignment. And in human design, alignment is considered being the self, meaning you are operating as yourself, and you will be in your signature expression, which for a generator, being yourself and being in your signature expression means that you are feeling satisfaction with your life. You're feeling satisfaction with your experiences, the creations that you're making, and all of the experiences that you're having. If you're misaligned, then you are in the not self, meaning you are not being yourself. You are not honoring your design. And as a generator, your not self expression will be frustration. So when you're using your strategy, using your authority, you can gauge whether or not you're aligned or misaligned based off of the expression that you're experiencing. So if you're feeling satisfaction, that means you are in alignment. If you're feeling frustration, that means there's a misalignment with your energy. For manifestors, your strategy is to inform. So for manifestors, it's all about going to the people in your field, and when I say field, I mean like your energetic environment. So your family, coworkers, friends, whomever, and you simply inform what it is that you're going to do. You don't ask permission. You just inform what you're going to do, and then you go and do the thing. And the reason why you are informing people of what you're going to do is because you are a powerful initiator, and it's just to make sure that the people in your life understand what's going on. Otherwise, they feel like they're kind of being dragged along by your initiations without having any agency in the process. So for manifestors, when you are in alignment or you are being yourself, you're going to experience peace. But when you are misaligned and you're in your not self frequency or your not self energy, you're going to experience anger. So if you're a manifestor, this is how you can gauge whether or not you are aligned with your strategy and your authority, which is to experience peace, or misalignment, which will bring up a lot of anger. I can't say specifically what the authority is for manifestors because it's different depending on your aura type. That's something, or not your aura type, but your chart. And you would have to pull up your chart or get a reading with me in order to get into the depths of what your authority would be. For projectors, the strategy for projectors is to wait to be invited. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about projectors in a moment when I talk about myself. So I'm actually going to skip over to reflectors. So for reflectors, their strategy is to sample. So they're just sampling their environment. They're just sort of like tasting the energy of the people around them. And so for reflectors, how they know that they are in alignment or being themselves is that they're going to experience surprise, or they're going to experience awe with the experiences that they're having in their life, the people that they're calling in, the different circumstances and situations that they're in are going to bring surprise and delight to them. And when the reflector is misaligned, meaning they're not honoring their strategy and they're not honoring their authority, they're going to experience disappointment. So that is the misalignment or the not self for the reflector. So coming into projectors, the reason why I'm saving projectors for last is because I'm a projector, and projectors have the strategy of waiting to be invited. And the reason why projectors are meant to wait to be invited is because we are energy guides. And just like I said before, we have a very focused and penetrative aura. And that penetrative aura means we are basically going inside of other people. And you don't want to enter into somebody else without their permission. We have a 4-letter word for going into somebody's body without their permission. And I'm sure you can gauge what it is that I'm talking about. So it's a violation for a projector to give their insight, their direct insight, direct guidance, their opinions or perceptions of the other person without their permission. And so our role is to simply use our platforms, use our YouTube channels and social media, our blogs, our books, whatever medium we have that we're using to guide other people, art tutorials, lesson plans, whatever it is. We are meant to use those things to make ourselves visible and showcase our knowledge and our wisdom so that other people can find us and then invite us in to give direct guidance and insight to those people. And so for me as a projector, that's what I do. I have my YouTube channel, I have my Instagram page, I have a Substack newsletter, I have all of my one-on-one offerings, and I just show up in my magic. I talk about my opinions and my insight and my mastery of certain systems in the world. And by doing that and making myself visible, that lets people know that I'm here to help serve and guide them, and they can then invite me into their life. My not self expression or my signature expression as a projector is success. So when I am aligned, when I'm waiting to be invited, when I'm showing up and making myself visible, showcasing my knowledge, showcasing my wisdom, I will experience success. And success is going to be different depending on the projector. Every person has the right to define what success looks like for them. And so for me, success means people are coming into my workshops, they're booking one-on-one sessions with me. I'm getting recognized for the wisdom that I have, and I'm receiving money and abundance for the wisdom that it is that I share. The not self of being a projector is, what is the not self? I just lost it. Oh, the not self for the projector is bitterness. Bitterness. And so this is what we feel when we are not operating in alignment. We feel bitter. And for a projector, operating out of alignment will typically mean not honoring the fact that we don't have the same energy output abilities as a generator does, because we do not have a defined sacral. And that's something that is also true for manifestors and reflectors. We don't have defined sacrals, so we don't have consistent access to that life force energy. We get tired a lot more quickly than generators do. And so by not honoring my energy, by giving advice when I'm not asked, like giving unsolicited advice, giving unsolicited guidance, those types of things will then be very repelling to the other people that I'm giving it to, and they will reject my guidance. They will reject my advice, which will then leave me feeling a sense of bitterness because I know I'm right. That's why I'm offering the guidance, but I haven't been invited to offer that guidance. And so when I'm describing strategy and authority and all of these different aspects of the different aura types within human design, all of these parameters and strategies are designed to protect you from operating out of misalignment. And so the way that being a projector has really changed my life, and learning about human design rather has changed my life, is that number one, it has taught me how to stop showing up in a way that is misaligned for my energy type. It showed me all of it gave me the opportunity to reflect back on past experiences where I gave guidance or insight to people or advice to people when they didn't ask me. Even if I was right, even if I could clearly see what was happening in their situation and what they were doing incorrectly, what they were doing wrong, even though I was correct about that, they were not ready to receive the penetration of my aura. I penetrated them without their permission. And so it didn't matter if it was correct for them, they didn't want it. And so when I was able to look back at past conflicts that I had, or conversations where I spoke out of turn, or people, got upset with me because I said something to them that they needed to hear, but they weren't ready to hear it. And then I faced the consequences of it and then was left feeling bitter. It made me realize exactly why I had those life circumstances happen to me. It's because I wasn't honoring my strategy, which is to be invited, to wait to be invited before sharing my wisdom. The other thing that learning about human design really illuminated for me as a projector is a deep need for rest. And it's something that I've always known about myself, is that I need a lot more rest. And it's something that I used to get mistreated for growing up. So like growing up in my household, I was called lazy, and that, I wasn't doing enough, and you're not getting your chores done. And I would be so frustrated and so upset, and I would cry and I would be angry. And when I did have time to myself, I spent so much time in bed, so much time sleeping, recovering from all of the energetic output that I was having to, express as a teenager, being in school, playing sports, working a part-time job, having a lot of responsibilities at home. It was just a lot of energy requirements on me that I didn't have the capacity for. And so projectors are very, very prone to burnout because we are constantly being conditioned by the fact that most people in this world are generators and have to give all of this output into the world that we just don't have the capacity for. And so learning that about myself, and learning that it is absolutely essential for me to prioritize rest and to incorporate rest into my day-to-day life has been something that has just been so healing for me. Because being told by my mother, being told by siblings, being told by, my former partner, my ex-husband, that I was lazy because I wasn't doing enough around the house, or you're not taking advantage of the time that you have off, and all of these projections and insults that really made me feel like inadequate in a lot of ways, because in my mind, I don't have the energy to do it. I want to do it. I just don't have the energy. And so just being able to have that permission of understanding that this is actually my blueprint. This is my design. I'm designed this way. I am designed to put out a lot of powerful energy in a short amount of time that's much more efficient than somebody else, like maybe a generator who needs 8 hours to get what I can get done in 4 hours. And so the efficiency that comes with being a projector and recognizing that rest is an integral part of my being was a major, major game changer for me. What else? Yeah, like learning that I'm an energy guide, that I have a lot of wisdom, that I'm here to teach, I'm here to guide, I'm here to lead, was so affirming for me, because growing up, I was always the person that people would come to for advice. My friends would come to me for advice about things. Some of my siblings would come to me for advice about things. Random strangers would ask me for advice about things, and things that I didn't have any direct experience with. But when people would ask me questions about it, I would just know exactly what to say to them. I would just channel answers. That was exactly what it was that they needed to hear. And it wasn't until later on into my spiritual journey when I learned that I have the gift of claircognizance, and realizing that my gift of claircognizance is directly related to me being a projector. So many synchronicities and things that I wasn't aware of about myself were confirmed, solidified, or illuminated by me learning about human design. It was truly, honestly, one of the most incredible frameworks for me to come across, because even though I've always loved and been interested in astrology never gave me like the practical tools that I needed. Because astrology will tell you, oh, well, you're an Aries, and this is in this house, and this is what this house governs, and this is the energy of this planet that rules this sign or whatever. But it would never say, okay, but this is the strategy that you utilize. And human design takes all of those beautiful, etheric, metaphysical bits of wisdom and knowledge, but then it gives me something concrete and something logical and something tangible that I can operate off of, which has been so helpful for me to say, you're a projector, your strategy is to shut the hell up and wait to be invited. And then when you're invited, then you can share all of your magic. And in the meantime, you must rest. And in the meantime, understanding that you're a 2-4, which I'm not going to get into the profiles, but because that's another video, but learning all of these intricate details of my chart. Well, like, you're a 2-4, which means you're the hermit and you're the opportunist. So this is why you need lots of alone time. But then when you step into your opportunist mode, which is the networker, the person who connects people in your network, and you're given opportunities by the people in your network, that's where your magic comes alive. So it just gave me access to all of this really beautiful and profound insight about myself that allowed me to start using an actual strategy for living my life, which allowed me to stop over giving or oversharing, really, in a lot of aspects of my life, to stop being rejected by giving my guidance to people who weren't ready for it or who are not deserving of my guidance and wisdom, and to save my energy for the people who are actually meant for me. And that has been such a profound impact that human design has had on my life. And I could talk about this. This video is already 25 minutes long, and there's so much that I could share with you, so much more that I could share with you about this framework and how it has absolutely changed my life in so many incredible ways. So if you want to learn more about human design, then let me know. Let me know how familiar you are with this framework, or if this is your first time hearing about it. Do you know what your aura type is? And if you don't know what your aura type is, are you curious? Is this opening up some curiosity or interest in learning more about this framework and how it can support you and how it can help you in your day-to-day life? Human design is something that I use in my mentorship space. So when I have clients that come to me for long-term mentorship, they join my 3-month or my 6-month program. My human design is one of the first things that I do with my clients. I pull their chart and I do a whole reading with them and introduce them to their design and their aura type, their strategy, their authority, their profile, all of those things, which helps them navigate all of the deep spiritual shifts that we're engaging with throughout the mentorship process. So like, one of the ways that I've used this to help clients is I have a client who is a generator. And when we first started working together, she was trying to pivot into, she works in finance and was trying to pivot out of her current position, or her current position at that time, into a new position. And she had been, even though she's worked in finance for decades, has so many years of experience, she wasn't getting any work. And I dropped in with her and I read her chart and I said, the reason why you're not getting any work, and she wasn't even getting interviews, by the way. She wasn't even getting interviews. And I said, the reason why you're not getting any interviews is because you're not honoring your sacral authority. You're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, and nothing is sticking because none of these things are aligned. So what I want to have you do is I want to have you stop applying to all these jobs, and you're only going to listen to your sacral response when you read a job listing. And those are the jobs that you are going to apply for. And within 2 weeks of her doing this, because it was hard to get out of that mindset of I need to apply for everything, she felt like, well, if I apply for less, I'm going to get less opportunities. I said, no, you're not going to get fewer opportunities. You're going to get more opportunities because you're actually listening to your body's authority. And within 2 weeks, she had 5 or 6 job interviews. And from those 5 or 6 job interviews, she got multiple job offers. And so these are just some of the shifts that can be made immediately from learning your human design, incorporating it into your life, and then seeing the benefits and the impact of honoring your unique design and your unique blueprint. So if you're interested in learning more about your human design, you can pull your chart for free. There are so many websites where you can do this. You can just Google free human design chart. I like to use mybodygraph.com. That's what I direct people to, and that's the website that I use to do all of my readings, and that's where I keep the databases of all of my clients who book me for human design readings. And it's just my favorite to use, but there are so many other websites that you can use. The only thing that you need to pull your human design chart is your birth chart information. So you just need your birth time, your birth place, and your date of birth. And if you don't have your time of birth, you can still find your human design chart. It's just some of the more intricate details might be a little bit off. But if you'd like to book a human design reading with me, I'm going to drop the link into the comments and pin that comment so that you can just click on that scheduler and book a human design reading with me, because I love introducing people to human design. As you can see, I've been talking about this for half an hour. I love it so much, and it really has changed my life, and it's changed the lives of my clients. But yeah, let me know how you enjoyed this video. If you want me to do more videos on human design, talking about the different aura types and their strategies and their authorities, how they can navigate, moving throughout the world. And yes, that is one more thing I wanted to say. So like, I'm an emotional authority, which I mentioned a little bit when I was talking about generators before. And as an emotional authority, that's the other thing that really helped me, because there's so much pressure to make decisions. Like, time is money. You got to tell me now. Like, I have the deadline by the end of the day. The deadline is at the end of the week. But my authority doesn't operate off of society's timelines. My authority operates on my timeline. And so learning to honor my emotional authority, go through all of my emotional waves before finding that place of clarity, and then making a decision from that place has been so beautiful for me, and taking a lot of the pressure to just know the choice right away, and realizing that I don't need to know right away. I get to take my time and feel into it. And then when I receive that clarity, that's the place that I make the decision from. And that's been such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I wanted to just kind of share a little bit about how it's impacted me, give you a little crash course, a little human design for dummies for those of you who are not familiar with this framework, and just give you another tool that you can use to help impact your life in a really powerful way. One thing that I will say before I end this video is that human design is a framework. It is not the framework. There are a lot of people in human design spaces that are very dogmatic about human design, and that is not the lens that I come from. I don't treat it like religion. I don't treat it like Bible. It's a tool that I use to help guide my life, but it is not the foundation of my identity. It just so happens that so much of what I've learned about myself in human design, well, nearly everything that I've learned about myself in human design has felt really resonant with me. And so I stick with what resonates, and what doesn't resonate, I let it go. So yeah, that is my take on, or my introduction and my take on human design, how it has impacted me, specifically being a projector, and some of the ways that you can utilize human design to benefit yourself and benefit your life. So drop down in the comments, let me know how this video landed for you. Let me know if you want to hear more, and if you want to book a human design reading with me, then I will leave the link in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your likes, your comments, your subscription, all of the ways in which you engage with my content, which lets me know what you want more of. And it really encourages me to keep putting out these videos every day. So thank you so much for being here. If it's your first time, your 5th time, your 20th time, wherever you are in the world watching this video, I'm so grateful for you. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.